Hi guys, hope you're well. Today's video is going to be all about if your toddler doesn't sleep through the night and how you can help them to do that. So I have two young children, and I just want to caveat that I am not a sleep expert, but I do have two young children who do sleep through the night now, and I just wanted to share my tips and tricks on how I got them to do that with you. It can be so hard when you're a tired parent trying to get your children to go to sleep when they are just completely resistant to do that. There can be so many different reasons why they are not sleeping as well as they once did. It really goes in waves. Sometimes they sleep well and then something happens and they don't. So this could be for a number of different reasons, of which we will talk through in today's video. It could be a sleep regression. Sleep regressions happen at various different developmental points within a child's life, so their toddler sort of life. So as they're growing and developing, they'll have these sleep regressions and their kind of sleep patterns or change. It could be something like they're afraid of the dark or separation anxiety. These are really big things for children, especially separation anxiety. My little boy went through that. So when I would put him down in the car, he just really wouldn't want me to leave the room, and would get incredibly upset. It could be things like having trouble falling asleep or also waking up really early as well. So these are all common for toddlers to do. They could do various of them. They could just do one of them. But yeah, I'll talk through today a really good routine for you to help your toddler sleep through the night. Okay, so the first one that I am starting with is a consistent bedtime routine. We rigorously do this every night. The kids then have a signal that bedtime is coming and they really do get used to this. So it's something like bath, book, bed. So we always, have the kids have a nice bath. They really enjoy a bath, and they sort of have, a nice calming book before bed as well. So they really enjoy that process of reading together, and we really like doing that with them separately before bedtime. Their beds, my children are 2 and 5. So my 2-year-old, obviously, we have just gone through all of this again, having done it with Amelia with the sort of toddler stage. So my 2-year-old now sleeps really, really well, but that certainly wasn't the case always with him. And there will be sort of bumps in the road as well. You'll go up and down. But having that bedtime routine, I think especially for him, has really, really helped him to understand that bedtime is now coming. And sometimes when we start this process, he, we get to book, and he's so excited to read his book, and then he knows he's going straight from book time to in his cot and bedtime. So they really do pick up these cues and understand that bedtime is coming. So their sleep environment really does matter. Keep it dark. We actually have a blackout blind and blackout curtains, just because light was still seeping through with our blackout blind. So we want to keep it really, really dark. We notice with both of our children that light really, really affects them, especially obviously in the summer. It's still really light out, and when you're putting your child to bed at 7 o'clock, they find it a little bit harder to actually fall asleep when it's light. And the same when it gets those mornings when it gets a little bit lighter earlier. We found as well that was waking them up earlier than they normally would wake up. So having your room as dark as possible will help. Noise as well, white noise machines. Our children really kind of both like the stormy kind of rain sound. So we put white noise on for them, and again that helped. And especially with your second child, obviously my eldest was still awake whilst we was putting our youngest to sleep, so she's still downstairs playing, making noise, but that white noise on in my little boy's room meant that obviously if she was playing, it didn't affect his sleep at all, because that sort of covered the noise of her playing downstairs. So we really found that noise helped as well. Keep the room obviously cool at the right temperature, not too hot. You can actually buy some room thermometers. One we had was a grow egg, and this would change different colours depending on the room temperature. So if it was too hot in the room, it would be red. If it was a really perfect temperature, it would be like an amber colour. And if it was too cold in the room, it would go blue. So then you're really, you just have to sort of glance over at it and see if the room's at the perfect temperature. Avoid overstimulation before bed, so keep it nice and calm before bed. You don't want to have any activities that are really going to be too exciting or hype them up. Essentially, you're just going to want to wind it down. You want to keep them away from sort of cartoons or TV or tablets too much, and just play some nice calming games together. Definitely don't give them sugary snacks or anything like that too near bed either. Like I said, you're just going to want to keep it nice and calm, read some books together or do some nice calming, relaxing play together. That's going to keep them nice and calm. Essentially, you're just going to want to wind down for bed. Obviously, if they have an exciting activity and they're running around the front room and they're getting all this energy and they're buzzing, and then you go to put them to bed, they're just not going to be in the right frame of mind for bed because they're full of energy, full of beans, and they're going to want to play. So you're going to want to just have some nice calming activity. So we do like books before bed and just nice calming other activities too. Theo will play with his little like little animal figures and role play as well. He enjoys doing that. But essentially no running around, no energy activities, just nice and calm environment before bed. You need to teach your toddler independent sleeping skills. So essentially you're going to need to teach them to be able to fall asleep on their own without you in the room, without you shushing in the room, without you patting them or feeding them. And this way, obviously, throughout the night, they are going to be waking. And if they don't have you there to help them get back to sleep, this is when they'll kind of struggle to get themselves back to sleep. So this will really help them to start sleeping through the night if they're not already, without you there. This can be quite difficult because obviously at first they're going to want you to settle them to sleep. Essentially we would go in every couple of minutes, calm them down, just pat him on the back, or give a little bit of shushing, and then leave. So we do that every sort of like couple of minutes, 5 minutes, and then kind of extend that time longer, but it never really go past sort of 5 minutes before he fell asleep anyway. And this is the key one essentially to getting your toddler to completely sleep for the night. As I said, you know, within our sleep systems as well, we'll go out of deep sleep into lighter sleep, and if they do wake up, essentially they're just going to want you back in, which is why they cry for you to come back in to help them get back to sleep. So essentially you're going to have to teach them skills to get themselves to sleep. So if you have got a toddler that is waking through the night still, so this could be once or multiple times throughout the night, you just want a gentle approach to reassure them, but you don't want to be making any habits for them that they do get used to. So if they are waking in the night, obviously again, go in there, reassure them that it's okay, lay them back down if they're stood up, and gently, you know, slowly start to exit the room. What you're not gonna want to do is just kind of make habits. Like I said, you're not going to really want to pat them or shush them back to sleep, because again, this is creating a habit that they'll need you to do that every time they wake up. So just having you there in the room is sometimes enough. They just want your presence there to know that you are around. But essentially you're going to want to take that step back from shushing, patting or feeding to sleep. Managing early wake-ups. Okay, so early wake-ups can be a killer, essentially, especially if they're obviously waking in the night as well. Something that has helped is if you can actually get clocks. You can get toddler clocks, so obviously they don't read the time, but they'll change a certain colour, and so they'll go green when they can wake up. If the clock is blue, it's still bedtime, it's still sleep time, and they'll get used to seeing those colours as cues as to when they could sort of like wake up and get up. So that's a really good one as well. And obviously just keep it nice and calm in the mornings, and essentially the light as well. So the light is such a big one, and it was big for us. I think when we cracked that, we knew light really affected our children. So as I mentioned before, get those blackout blinds and curtains. If one isn't enough, we've got two, so get that as well. You can actually get some really good travel blackout blinds. We've got one that's got these little suction pads that stick to the window, so if you obviously you know, you're traveling and you want to take that with you, you know, wherever you're going it's going to be completely blackout as well. So there's some really good travel options as well for them. But yeah, early wake-ins is from my experience all to do with the light, and that's what essentially wakes my children. So that is all my tips for you to help your toddler sleep through the night. I really do hope you find these useful. Essentially, just be consistent with what you're doing, and it can be really, really hard at the beginning, but stick with it and you will see results and you will get your toddler sleeping through the night eventually. But absolutely stick with these tips and tricks as well. Let me know in the comments down below how you get on. I'd absolutely love to know, and if you have any other tips as well of what has worked for you, I'd love to hear them, so let's share them all down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please do remember to give a thumbs up for me and subscribe as well if you haven't, because I make lots of kind of parenting tips and hacks videos like this one, so you might want to just hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.